This video is brought to you by Verve. Head on over to verve.co/gaijin to see how you can get 12 great channels of content for 30 days ad-free. Also be sure to stick around to the end for a few important announcements as well. Hey everyone, Gaijin Goomba here. So, with a new season of anime right around the corner and all these new shows coming down the pipeline, I kinda wanted to take a step back and look back at one of my more recent favorites to come out of the season, Gegege no Kitaro. Again.
The show is freaking yokai-tastic, and just within the first season we've already seen and learned about a wide variety of traditional folklore monsters, like Isogashi, the yokai that makes people super busy, Makura Gaishi, the prankster spirit who flips your pillow to your feet, and the all-terrifying Wanyudo, who according to legend can steal your soul at a mere glance and drag it to hell.
Yeah, it's a show that revolves around yokai Japanese monsters, but honestly that concept usually only takes me so far. The real meat of the show that keeps bringing me back over and over again is the social commentary each episode brings. A few months back, we talked about how the show frames the dangers of social media and internet life, but that was only the beginning. Overworking, stalkers, divorce, even human trafficking have been addressed in the series.
Well, that's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, but last episode, Zumbeta's spiritplasty was especially harsh, not only because it reminded me of how brutal Japanese society can be when it comes to physical appearance, but it hit a lot closer to home than I realized it would. So today, I want to break this episode down not only to show how strong of a window it is into Japanese culture of beauty, but also the devastation that can come from its obsession. Enter Kirara Fusano, just another face in the anime high school crowd, except, well, her face rather sticks out, gaining the jeers of her peers.
Peers nothing, this poor girl gets harassed by damn near everyone on the planet. She gets mocked by girls and boys her age, children, the goddamn delivery men, and she gets hardcore body checked by a freaking fangirl. And the worst of it, and I mean the absolute worst, comes from the nickname the entire community has given her, Busano. A play on her last name Fusano, the translation's played up to mean boo, as in reference to her face being ghostly or ghoulish, but honestly, I think this nickname actually originates from the Japanese word busaiku. While it technically means ugly, this is literally the worst thing you could call a girl in Japan. And these parasites are trying to weave it into her very person. You know what? Up to this point, I'm all in favor of this gal turning into an all-powerful yokai and soul-sucking every last one of these cockroaches.
Be careful what you wish for. I think it's fair to say that for a lot of us, we can relate to this. Unless you rolled with the preps, you know exactly how this feels. But it's especially bad for people like Kirara because she, like much of Japan, loves cute culture so much. I mean, she's always in Lolita and geez, get a load of that room. It's like walking into a maid cafe. And this is only a small glimpse into just how critical cuteness can be within Japan's society. It's almost impossible to describe without having gone there yourself, but this idea of kawaii culture permeates into almost every aspect of being a girl over there. While teenagers in the West have a more contemporary obsession with adult beauty, for the East, especially Japan, it's almost the opposite, with girls being pressured to be ever more adorable. I mean, do you remember back in episode 1 of My Hero how Deku's mom is tall, slender, and attractive, and then only 6 years later she somehow lost 2 feet of height and drastically changed body mass? Yeah, that's how a lot of society sees women in their late 30s and early 40s. The concept of age and perceived age means all the difference in the world. Anyway, in some of the darker moments of the episode, we see just how hard it's crushing Kirara, shattering her mirror, blaming her mom for her genes, and most curious of all, seeing her Photoshop her face on her Instagram, as this is actually one of the most critical pieces of social commentary for the episode.
Well, why exactly? I mean, she thins out her face, shifts her nose, and enlarges her eyes, but these are her quote problem areas, so it makes sense for her, for anyone to dream about getting rid of them. What makes these 3 areas so critical?
Because they're within the top 5 most popular procedures in Japan. According to plasticsurgery.com, the top 5 surgical procedures in the country are eyelid surgery, rhinoplasty, fat grafting, liposuction, and facelifts. 3, arguably 4 of these procedures being referenced in the scene, with the top 2 of the 5 being the most prominent. Again, where we in the West are more worried about pulling fat from our bodies and pumping it into our chests, in Japan it's all about creating those youthful, cute features such as larger eyes, smaller noses, and thinner, more elegant faces. Eventually things come to a head, and in her most desperate hour, Kirara runs into Zumbeta, a seemingly haggard old woman who takes Kirara to her home and shows her true form of a beautiful yokai, and the secret of Reiki Shujutsu, or spiritplasty. She offers to change Kirara's face at no cost, but she would have to eat a deep-fried tempura human soul first.
Because, you know, what could go wrong there?
Well, it turns out a lot could go wrong. Never mind the fact that she had to eat a human soul to obtain her new cute face, But in order to keep it, in order to keep gaining the praise and attention she'd been craving for so long, she'd have to undergo the procedure over and over again. Cause it turns out she was wearing a dead woman's face the whole time, while she herself had become a Nopperabo. Which, I know, what the heck is that, right?
Well, it's actually a pretty simple and well-known yokai. Most of the time, these guys were believed to be just kitsune or tanuki in disguise, but Nopperabo themselves are little more than harmless prankster monsters. At first, they would look like any other human would, but right when their prey was close enough, they would wipe off their faces, terrifying the poor schmuck that approached them, sending them screaming into the night. And that's really about it. There's tons of popular stories about them, such as the tale of Koi Pond and Akasaka Road, but by and large, Nopperabo are pretty harmless, just jerks. Zunbera, on the other hand, is a bit of a mystery. Though there are plenty of cultures that have face-stealing monsters, Japan, oddly enough, doesn't have a lot of monsters or ghosts that do. In fact, in our research, there was only one yokai that even came close to fit in the bill, the Oshiroi Baba, or Face Powder Hag. Originating in Toriyama Sekien's Konjaku Hyaki Shu, or supplement to the 100 Demons of the Past and Present, Oshiroi Baba was a bent-over, haggard old woman who, according to a few legends, would offer her exquisite powder to vain women. And if said women applied the powder, their face would actually fall off, a result of their vanity. While there's not exactly a one-to-one connection, there are more than a few parallels going on here.
Unfortunately, this story isn't as cut and dry as that, though. Zunbera didn't have any ulterior motives, she just thought the concept of a woman's avarice for beauty to be precious. But the fact of the matter stood, if a woman were to use the spirit plasty technique, she would become a yokai. And while for another girl who was roped into Zunbera's scheme it was an easy choice to get out of it, for Kirara, who suffered a lifetime of brutal harassment from everyone she knew, it was not. In the world that she knew, this was the only way she could be happy. See, there's a problem with the concept of kawaii. It's argued that the word itself is used more often in Japanese than English uses the word the. It is the god adjective. Japan is kawaii and kawaii is Japan. Think of anything and everything that's popular in Japan that's associated with women. How many things can you honestly find that are feminine but also disassociated with the concept of kawaii?
I know I can. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find much of anything in Japan that doesn't have a direct association with the concept of kawaii. Mascots, musical groups, advertising, cafes, fashion, even technology isn't below the need to be cute.
So in a world that prioritizes cuteness, a world that despite her finding joy in cute things and wanting to be accepted by that culture, utterly rejects her, why should she go back? Especially considering her interactions with Yusuke. Oh, that's right, up to this point there's a blink and you'll miss it subplot about Kirara and this band member, actor, person named Yusuke. In the beginning, we learned that Kirara is a big fan of this guy and waits for him just like all of his other fangirls, but is violently bashed aside, to which he does nothing like the passive social kudanchi he is. Look it up, it's a real term. But apparently, he's always loved Kirara despite how she looks and tells her such in the episode. But it's only now that he had the stones to tell her after she got prettied up.
やっぱり整形とか顔なんてどうでもいいのに。
顔なんてどうでもいい。私はそうは思わない。
I mean, can you blame her response? Because how? How could he say that to her now that she's pretty? That one scene builds up and up and up to this point where Yusuke actually tries to convince her to return to her old face.
キララさん、さっきも言ったけど、僕は外見に関係なくあなたを。
勘違いしないで。私はあんたのために顔を変えたんじゃない。あんたなんか好きじゃない。あんたの隣にいる私が好きだっただけ。あんたなんか置物と同じ。可愛くなって初めて世界が動き出したみたいだった。それまで私は死んでたの。生きながら死ぬのは嫌。
Again, how can you blame her for having this mentality? If literally everyone you came across except Protag-chan and Spineless Subplot treated you like you were a freaking Frankenstein's monster, why would you ever want to go back?
But not all hope is lost, right? I mean, at the end, it looks like she's finally coming around to put her face back on.
Uh-huh. Watch this.
キララさん。キララさん。
Congratulations, player. You just got the bad ending. This is what I love about this show. It is absolutely unrelenting and uncompromising when it comes to its social commentary message. Despite the warnings, despite the attempts to try to make her see her inner beauty, she went right back to Zunbera to eat human souls and wear faces of the dead. Also, she could be pretty, just like society wants. Yeah, and that's the message this episode is trying to send to Japan. All the words in the world can't and isn't going to fix the problem. It will take actual social change before this problem goes away. And considering how integral appearance and cuteness is in Japan, it may not change anytime soon.
Wait, hang on a second. You said this episode's message about plastic surgery was supposedly a Japanese problem, but according to Statista, the United States has had 4 times as many procedures back in 2016 than Japan. So how is this a Japanese problem?
Because it isn't. It's a human problem. Yes, in the show, the context of the commentary is coming from a purely Japanese perspective, there's no doubt about that. But every issue this series has ever addressed isn't an issue squarely set in Japan. Greed, vanity, depression, hopelessness, these aren't Japanese issues, they're human issues. Just like the first video we did talking about Gegege no Kitaro and what it had to say about social media and internet culture a couple months back. This is why Gegege no Kitaro is so damn good, and now in my top 5 anime of all time. It still keeps a fun narrative and spooky vibe with its focus on folklore monsters, but at its core, it unapologetically shows kids, teenagers, and adults the ugly truths of life, to make them think hard about these issues, and in some cases, how to rise above them. That's why I say without any bias to please go check out this show. I absolutely love it, and it's not getting near the attention that it deserves in the anime community. And if you do want to see it for yourself, I'm still working with VRV to offer a 30-day free trial so you can watch this and any of the other series they have ad-free. I mean, you can find plenty of content within the 12 channels they host, like Nerdist, Shudder, Rooster Teeth, Geek and Sundry, and Mondo, but they also have the entirety of Crunchyroll and Funimation housed in one location, available from your computer, phone, PS4, Xbox, whatever. And with Premium, you can watch all these without ads and offline on mobile devices. So if this sounds like a good deal for you, you can get that 30-day free trial by hitting up my link at vrv.co/gaijin or click on it in the description. I've been loving this service for months now, and I think you guys will enjoy it too. But either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Also, just a quick heads up, I will be at Con Bravo at the Hamilton Convention Center in Ontario, Canada, July 27th through the 29th. So if you're in the area, I hope you come swing by one of my panels and say hi. Otherwise, be sure to check out our weekly streams at twitch.tv/GaijinGoomba every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and also be sure to swing back here on YouTube next weekend for the newest Witch Ninja. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. But until then, everyone, this is Gaijin Goomba, signing out.